that one thing that you need, that you actually control for success. When I'm reminded of this, when I was coming up in my early adult years and striving to be a motivational speaker, striving to be a business manager, a business consultant, striving to be a real estate investor, and amongst many other things that I had natural skill sets to learn to become great at, I learned that this one particular activity actually was something that I had been practicing all my life, but just like everything else with knowledge, is that without the awareness of knowledge, the applied intention of using that knowledge becomes very broad. It's not specific. There's no grip or handle on it because you don't have an idea that you're consciously doing it. And that's what I'm going to teach you today, as to this one thing that you can use to control for success. And it's something that you've been practicing that you haven't even realized that you've been practicing. But when I tell you, which is going to be the first tip, is actually going to blow your mind a little bit when we go into detail about it. Because when you learn about this, it'll then help you to see the shift of other extended knowledge bases and skill sets and particular pieces of knowledge that you need to keep your eyes on the prize for success, to stay linear with your patterns, and to also put yourself in a position to succeed beyond what you expect and what you feel that you're capable of. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And that particular activity that you can control for success is effort. Okay, I'm reminded where I saw in the video, I can't recall where, I think it was a rap video or a rap documentary or something like that. I know rap has something to do with it, but an individual said that if you take a natural born writer or a natural born rapper versus someone that is an overachiever, I'm going to put my money on that overachiever each and every time. You know, and for me to go an extension with that, the reason I agree with that is that with effort, your body becomes alive. Your body learns to generate a new type of energy that you haven't had before because you didn't know that it could be generated. And just like the old fable in life, what you don't know is what you don't know, and what you don't know is the one thing that can hurt you in life or hinder you from getting to your goals a little bit faster. So it's very important to educate daily, to be more curious than informative, and to observe more than you speak out about something. You know, really learn to listen in order to understand, and listen in order to obtain, and then learn how to exude out and just push back out that which you've learned and you've learned to understand. And with being an overachiever, which I consider myself as one because I'm the type of individual, when I micro-plan steps on particular tasks, I create like not just an hour of something, I create like days of something to get done in a day. I'm just that crazy of a hard worker because I found my gift. When I found my gift, I now had a singular focus, and I now had a singular purpose, which now allowed me to create a tunnel vision of just pushing all of my energy and all of my effort into this one thing. And then it allows me to focus and concentrate, so I'm not looking over here, I'm not looking over there, I'm not distracted left and right about things that are not productive to the benefit of my dreams and goals, to the benefit of me expanding my internal gift, which helps to expand my all desires that I dream about and wish to have. Okay, and that all comes from just being an overachiever. Learn, how, I'm also reminded of, a guy that I follow in bodybuilding, Mike Rashid, and he has this process called overtraining, and it's where you allow your body to go beyond the limits of what people have told you for years and years that your body can go past. And you allow yourself to overtrain, but you also allow yourself to overrest, to give your body time to transform and to adjust to the new change that you bring upon it. And just like being an overachiever, you learn to work so hard that your brain has to keep up. Your brain is constantly figuring out, okay, where do we go from here? How do we do this? How do we do that? And how to do more of what we're already doing. So your brain doesn't care if you're going at 10 speed or if you're going at 100. Your brain just cares whatever speed we're going at, how do we get more in the process? So you might as well go for it all and go above and beyond. You might as well over-deliver and then under-promise to your clients and customers that you're going to have, so that you look like the hero each and every time, which you actually are the hero because the effort is there. The hero's effort is there. You go above and beyond the call. That's it. And that's how you learn to dominate. That's how you learn to go beyond competing with individuals who are just going maybe at 10 or 15 speed. You're going at 100 because you're telling yourself, I'm not stopping this until I get what I want, how I want, without anyone being in my way. That's how you dominate. That's how you get to your goals faster. That's how effort helps you to control your success. Because with effort comes your habits, comes your daily rituals. And with those daily rituals and habits, you now can form a very tangible future. Something that you can actually visualize and believe and actually go for without really, shifting on thin ice saying, okay, maybe I can have a plan B. Maybe I can ask for help over here if it doesn't work out. No. You put your all into it. You burn that bridge. You don't create a plan B, and you go for it all. No holds barred, no excuses. You just see yourself as winning. Even when you don't get the results you want, as long as you give that effort, you're closer than you were before you got to that failure. Okay? The next step of effort and using that to control your success is, with effort, you start to learn yourself more and you start to learn your strengths and your weaknesses. Because with effort, in order for you to keep from dying out and committing suicide in the midst of committing to your goals, you have to create awareness so that you know what you're doing so that you can do it over and over. Makes sense, right? So that's what giving that overachieved effort comes in at, because now your brain creates a very high sense of emotion for your body to for your body to push out into your actions. And when you have information combined with high emotion, you now create a long-term memory, and with that long-term memory, you then create accessibility to that pattern, to those habits that gets you to where you want to get to. And then it becomes second nature to you. It becomes effortless. That's how you become the Jordans, the LeBrons. That's how you become the Tom Brady's. Kind of hurts saying that, but we're not gonna speak about that right now. But that's how you become the greats. That's how you become the GOATs. That's how you become the rock stars, the A-list actors and celebrities, the richest people in the world. That's how you become these individuals that you watch them on TV and you watch them in entertainment and social media, and you ask yourself, how did they get to that point? And then you see that when you're watching them, you're not focused on looking at someone else to compare them, because you can't. They're giving you the entire package with full achieved effort, with full purpose in mind because they found their gift. They expanded it exponentially by giving an expanded effort, and then they created such a high emotion from doing that because now what's happened is that they start to see the initial success, and now they're telling themselves, I can do this. I can do this over and over. I can do this for months. I can do this to make a living. I know what I can do this for the rest of my life in one form or another. And then they do it over and over and over because they feel good about it. So therefore, they're not psyching themselves out. The effort is there because the emotion is very high behind the activity. So now they're fully motivated to go from action to action to action. Between those lines is motivation, which is the fuel of action. And then it just creates this cog of machine called your habits, your rituals, your daily routines, your greatness that people then are gravitated towards. Your fans, your followers, your customers, your clients, your family, your business, your future business partners, your future life partner or partners or however you live. But these individuals are now gravitated towards you because you've now gravitated yourself towards you from within. Okay? And with the next step, with all of that effort over and over and over, another way for you to ensure that you are doing the right thing at the right time towards the right goal is that you got to plan everything. You got to write it down. We talk about this in every video, okay? Hopefully you got the point during the first video and it's just led on to now as being a common thread of a common goal, of a common agenda that we push and force upon you is that you got to write it down, you got to micro plan it, and you got to literally see each step visually. See it in your head, believe it, write it down, and then go on to the next step. It's just like writing a great advertisement. Each sentence has to make you go to the next sentence. Otherwise, you start drifting off, and then you procrastinate because you put it down to the side, and you say, I'll get back to it one day. And then you lose the effort, you lose the momentum, you lose the shift, and then you kind of lose the goal and the focus and the dreams and desires and just your entire life. And now you become this dismal, mediocre individual who's now working for much less than what they're worth because you just didn't plan it right. You just didn't write it down. You just didn't visualize it well enough. And that is a skill set. Visualization, it is a skill set. That's why it's important to meditate. Listen to your thoughts. Look at your thoughts, but don't act on them. That's how you meditate. That's one of the best ways that's one of the best language ways for you to really get started into that practice of life, is to learn how to quiet your thoughts by putting it on mute, and then learn to look at it as a spectator, but don't engage into the thought process. That's how you meditate. And that's what comes into the skill set of writing things down, micro planning, and making every action intentional instead of making it arbitrary, thinking that this is just supposed to come next because it's just supposed to, just because. That's not a reason. That's a cop-out. That's an excuse. It's laziness, mental and physical. So learn to write it down, plan it out, become a strong visualization creature, and micro-plan everything. Make yourself, practice on yourself. That which you give out to the world, you always have to do it within yourself, and you always have to become your first customer. So do it yourself, plan it, micro-plan it, and ask yourself, how do I get to the next step? Do I believe this? Do I feel this? And if you do, with that same effort, you can get to the next step. And then you'll start to, and then your brain and your mind and your spirit and that energy will all come together as one, as that essence that you have, and then you'll start to figure it out. And next thing you know, you done planned out weeks and months, all from this one step. And that's how you plan out your months and your years ahead. That's how you see things forward. And that's how you focus and say, okay, this makes sense to do now. This makes sense to do now. Okay? The plan won't be perfect. Okay? It won't be step by step as you're doing it now because your mindset may be a little different. But at least you now have a blueprint. You now have a foundation. You now have a wider comfort zone on paper to go with. See, when I know where I'm going, I can then just go at it full strength. I'm not in the dark anymore about it. I have full visual on it. So I now know where I'm going. I know when to jump. I know when to sidestep. And I know when to go hard. I know when to slow down. And I know when to get someone involved. And I know when to go at it myself. Because now I have everything on paper. That's what planning does for you. That's what laying it out, laying that foundation does for you. Foundation goes forward. It doesn't go horizontal. It goes forward. That's what a foundation does for you. That's what expanding your comfort zone is about. Your comfort zone is your foundation and that's where you go at. And your goal is to get out of that by using it to grow to the next level. Okay? So the next step from that of writing it down and planning it is to double up on your actions. We've pretty much been talking about this the entire video. Overachieving, going 110 or 1,000 instead of going at 10, or giving some of what you got and putting the rest to the side for the next plan in case you fail this. We've been talking about the entire video. Double up on your actions, double up on your positivity, double up on your emotions, double up on your motivation between your activities. Okay? And just double up on everything. Don't leave anything to chance. Don't say that this will be okay and this will be okay, because all of these manifestations that you're creating are your creations. So do not shortchange yourself if you don't want the world to do it. It all starts with you. You have to show yourself how you want to be treated. And then you can begin to show the world how to treat you. It all starts with you. It starts with you in a relationship. It starts with you in a partnership. It starts with you just going down that journey. Do you respect yourself enough to stay in shape? Do you respect yourself enough to not be lazy? Do you respect yourself enough to have daily rituals and goals? Do you respect yourself enough to learn how to be a strong visualization creature through the act of meditating? Do you respect yourself enough for these things? Maybe that should have been the title of this video. You know, do you respect yourself enough to succeed? Okay, but that'll be another video that we'll jump on. But the point stays here is to double up on your activities and don't leave anything to chance. And how you do one thing is how you should do everything. Overachieve and always go for it. Because even if you don't, reach the moon, you'll still fall amongst the stars and you'll still have a blueprint now of what you did to get there to possibly move on to something else. Okay? This is Nick Billions with Learn, Love, Live Strategic Life Consulting. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I always want you to, share this video amongst your community. Don't leave this knowledge just to yourself. Don't be selfish that way. That's not what we're about. I want you to share it amongst your social media community. I want you to let people know, hey, there's a sexy, tall, black guy with an awesome voice teaching me how to be a better me. Okay, however you want to sell it, definitely get people in front of this video, because it helps us, it helps you, it helps the world. All right. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Tell me how I did on the video. Tell me what you learned, what you didn't learn. Have a conversation with me. Comment. Okay, let's leave some Q&A. Maybe you may trigger an idea that I may have for the next video. Who knows? And I'll give you a shout out during that as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Hit that notifications button too, so you'll always know when our videos are popping up through your phone. We're doing them daily, weekly, and monthly, but mostly we're doing them every day now. Okay? And as always, learn what you love what you want to live as, and live as if you already become it. This is Nick Billions signing off. I'll talk to you soon.